I'm Chagas. I'm a physiotherapist, and in this video I will show you how to work with nerve flossing exercises designed for the arm nerves that we described previously in other type of exercise like the corkscrew. You want to see the other videos for that one, and the broom handle one as well. They both can work with nerve flossing stretching. This one can be a deeper stretching for an entire arm and neck zone, plus nerve flossing, but you may gain a deeper relaxation effect if you are able to master relaxing while you stretch. So in here you can control more the position of the neck and the hands at a good purpose to work on different nerves and muscle sites. So I'll describe as we go. You're going to be sitting against the wall with your back flat against the wall. If you cannot do that, if your back keeps bending as you sit down, you can always use a prop to increase your height. And that's because you may have tightness in your glutes area. So if you're sitting on a block, for example, you may have a easier time to sit with your back against the wall. So that's just a tip. Scoot your hips back flat against the wall. You may stretch your legs if you can. If you feel it's too much tight on your hamstrings, just keep your knees bent. The focus is not on the legs, the focus is on the waist up. So you will start by positioning your head into a growing taller position. You're lifting your ears up to the ceiling or the crown up to the ceiling. You're not tensing your nose up, neither drawing your chin in. You're keeping your gaze straight, your head in a neutral position while you grow taller. And then on the growing taller position, you're just going to have about 2% of effort. That's not the main focus. It's just positioning. And then as you gain that more neutral position, if you're able to reach ears over shoulder, great. If not, you're not required to touch the back of your head against the wall. That's not the idea. The idea is that you're just not with a severe forward head or stooped over. So you're just aligning yourself in a more neutral position. And from there, you're going to just fan your fingers out, thumb away from the little finger. And then you're going to stretch your arms out and try to land the fingers on the floor. And I just need to correct my mat position here to make it even. You're going to land those fingers on the floor or on the mat to a point that you can only touch your fingers. You cannot touch your palm. If you can touch your palm, move away a little bit until you can only touch your fingers. And you may be feeling a lot of stretching already in your arms. If it's too much, back off a little bit, make it less, okay? The idea is that you have a starting point and then you will grow the stretching position. You will progress that. So fingers fanned, land them on the floor. Palm are not touching because it's too far away. You're growing taller, and then you start the deep exhale. Deep exhale. As you lower your chest on the deep exhale, you may not notice some tightness or some stretching in your neck, and that's great. That's what you want for. Deep exhale. And then as you feel you cannot longer bring your chest down, you will start trying to touch your palm down to the floor without sliding your fingers. Obviously, you won't be able to touch your palm because it's further away, but the idea of pumping your hand towards the floor will create a movement that will bring your shoulders down, and that movement will overstretch that area where your nerve passes through. So you're doing nerve flossing just by doing that movement, even if you're not touching your palm down. If you do touch your palm down, it means you can progress, you can move over. So you need that gap between your palm and the floor to do that pumping movement. It's like if you're doing this movement here with the palm. It's not a great movement, so you're not going to feel much, but you will feel a very good stretch coming from your neck, upper chest, arm, forearm, and hands. So if you want an extra kick, you haven't got enough of the stretch there, one thing that you can do if you've done before the corkscrew stretching that I showed in a different video is just to turn your elbow in and your elbow out. That's another way to do nerve flossing in your arm, forearm, and hands. If you feel tingling, that means you went too far. Back off a little bit by bringing your hands closer, or don't twist too much, just a little bit, and then make your gains as you progress the amount of movement. First quality, then quantity. And then get the extra kick of the stretch with a deep exhale. If you haven't got enough, you want more stretching, you may add side bending of the neck, or you may add a rotation of the neck as if you're looking at your armpit or shoulder. That may add more stretching towards one side. So I'm just showing you ways to progress, because if you do over and over and over, you may feel that the initial position you first tried is not challenging you anymore. So that's progressions you can do. You may notice that one side is more tense than the other. We are all asymmetrical. So just make sure on that side that you feel more tension. Do deep exhales. Make sure you're focusing more your relaxation skill, because what the stretching is doing is to cause you that stretchy pain. If you can master your relaxation, letting the muscles relax, that body part relax, and do a deep exhale or a sighing on that painful stimulus, which is a stretching, you are likely to be able to apply that same in a movement that is painful to you, or when you are in exertion activities that you feel pain at zone, you'll be able to inhibit that instinct of tensing or guarding when pain comes. So that's the idea behind of the stretch, is either desensitization of pain by flossing nerves, stretching muscles, fascia, and mobilizing joints in a more neutral position, or it can be just a way to master your relaxation skills or any other skills of relaxation that you learned alongside with breathing on a painful stimulus like this stretching. So again, you want to progress hands away to never touch the palm, and then you try to keep moving the palm down in a pumping movement to create a flossing, or the flossing from the elbow, twisting. And this can work on the nerves that goes into the front of the forearm, like the median nerve, the nerve that goes through the carpal tunnel. But if you want to work on the muscle on the nerve that goes in the back of your hand, the radial nerve, you can do the opposite. Or if you have tennis elbow, that's a very good one. You're just going to change the position of your wrist. So instead of being flat, you're going to bend your wrist into a flexion position. And then again, you go as far as you can until you can just let the movement of the wrist go towards that way. Okay? So you're working towards the axis of your forearm bones, not on your hand. And again, growing taller, and your wrist will go away from your neck. So you're trying to stretch those two levels. And the symmetry of the stretching is very important, because if you focus any more than the other, you can see that it creates a wonky position of the neck, a side bending of the neck. And you may stretch one side more, but you're not working towards a good alignment of your spine. And if you're working, you don't want to be pulling your neck in any different position. So I always recommend doing a symmetric movement of the stretching. And if you want to add other zones of your body as well, stretch your hamstrings, feed two birds with one seed, as per se, you're going to be just doing a little bit more on working with the muscles as a chain instead of working just segmental areas there. So this is a tip on how to do nerve flossing on the arms, work with the neck, or just intensify that ability for you to master your relaxation skills. If you're feeling tingling throughout the exercise, that means you went too far. Return a little bit on the range of movement you're doing, or just shake your arms, come back later, or just make sure you are checking what's the position of your neck. If you're really growing taller, if you're tensing too much, or if you're holding your breath, that can be another way you can provoke a little bit of tingling there. And then the rest will be to count how many cycles of breath you want to do. So after you achieve the position, you may do 3 to 5, 5 to 10 cycles of breath to really base yourself on your breathing cycle rather than on time, because you need to be using the deep exhale as an extra stretch. So if you're counting time and you're not focusing on your breathing, you may forget that feature, and the exercise won't be as effective as it should. Thank you.